Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Jamie, aka Rick here, bringing you a Razer Naga guide. This is something I've wanted to do for a little while. I've finally got around to actually doing it, because I've got the Razer Naga, I've had it for a little while. I've got used to it, and I know that I struggled to start with getting used to it, so I thought I'd bring you this video, which is basically, I'm going to be playing a bit of World of Warcraft, as you can see on my warrior. I've got the camera set up, as you can see on my Naga, and I'm talking as well. So we're going to go into the warrior, and I'm going to show you a couple of little things that first of all, without even using the mouse, what I recommend doing personally. So you'll see straight away that right here, and this box here, and this box here, set up exactly the same as you see on the mouse here. So you got 1, 2, 3, etc. So you got exactly the same setup. So if I press 1 here, as you can see on the box here, it flashes. So that's me pressing 1 there on the mouse, and that's there. So now I'm going to press shift and then press 1 again, and you'll see this button flashing. So it's really easy to get to grips. So you literally look at your action bar on the screen and then feel with your thumb where it is. So if I look, I want to do thunderclap, I feel with my thumb, you go 1 across, 1 back, or you can use the little lines. You can't really see them on the video, but there's like I think it's like the F key on your keyboard, you've got that little like bump. It's like that really on the 4, 5, 6 and on the 10, 11, 12. So you can just feel for that really. That's kind of how I started. Also in the box with the Razer Naga you get these little dots that you can put on buttons, so obviously you can teach yourself that way. There's like these little raised dots that you can put on each button so you know where you are on your mouse. That's also quite good. I never use them personally. I always just train myself by looking at these action bars instead. So first of all, definitely if you watch my last video, it was about dominoes, which is these add-on bars. It shows you exactly how to set them up like this, and I would definitely recommend doing that if you're new to the Naga and you're struggling maybe a little bit to press the right buttons and all that sort of stuff, and you're wondering what what you should put on each bar and all that sort of stuff. I'd recommend doing this. And then what spells you put on each bar. Personally, I'd recommend this first set, without any modifiers. These are just literally 1 to 12. I'd put the first 6 as your most used 6 spells. So whether they all be like in combat, maybe some of them are out of combat buffs or something like that. I always put 1 to 6 because they're the most easily reachable buttons for me as my most used spells. And then the next layer, 7, 8, 9, are maybe procs or something I use when I have an excess of rage on this character. And then the bottom is stuff that I only use occasionally, like Devastate I only use on bosses, Shield Slam I only use it when it procs, and obviously Victory Rush is very rare, which is on 12. That's why, because I hardly ever use that. And then with your other bar, which I recommend putting on a modifier that you find really easy. For me, shift is the easiest one. Some people it's control, I know, but personally I find shift a lot easier. So, and then I put, again, the top 6 is your most used buttons. Again, and the next row is stuff that you use occasionally, like command and shout. I use obviously when out of combat, or in combat if I need the rage, which is quite rare. Challenge and shout obviously when I lose aggro, which hopefully is not very often. So obviously, as you can see, I don't use very much. And then the bottom bar is even less. I probably should use Demoralize and Shout more than I do, but obviously Vigilance, out of combat, I never use that in combat. And then my mount, obviously, again, I don't use that in combat. So as you can see again, hold down shift, I can press 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 really easily. So that's all my cooldowns. Another fantastic thing, which I've only found out recently about the Naga, is you can multi-touch. So if you look up here, I can go shift 1, 2 and 3 straight away, 2 and 3. Whereas before I was going 1, 2, 3 like that. Obviously you can see that's a lot slower. So if you go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 like that, and you just hit literally right in here in the middle of the 2 buttons, and it hits both of them at the same time. It's hard. Again, I wouldn't recommend doing that straight away. But once you've mastered, getting the basics 1, 2, 3 and all that, once you can do that, then I definitely recommend trying to do some multi-touches. And there's another one which is absolutely amazing for me on AoE pulls. As you can see here, I've got Thunderclap and Cleave right next to each other. So I charge in, I rend, and then obviously Thunderclap and Cleave, I can just press 5, 6, and they'll go off instantly at the same time. They will be perfectly in sync. Before, I was obviously going Thunderclap, Cleave, Thunderclap, Cleave. It's obviously a lot slower. You can just tap them both at the same time, and it does exactly the same thing. So we're going to go and have a look at some training dummies. We're going to do a bit of this, see what we can do. So I was going to click there, but Shift S8, Command and Shout. 3, charge in. 4, Cleave. 5, 6, 5, 6. See there? The Cleave and the Thunderclap went off at exactly the same time. Now, if we wait again, 5, 6. See the Cleave and the Thunderclap exactly the same time. It's so helpful to do this. Again, I'll show you. 5, 6. Cleave, Thunderclap. You see the Thunderclap go off and you see the Cleave animation. There's a bit of delay when the numbers come up on the screen, but as you can see, there's no delay on when damage is actually done. So I think that is amazing. Again, 5, 6. It's so simple once you get the master of it. But we'll show you. 3, see, charge in, and we can just get a little bit of a rotation going. See, there's some heroic strike in there. Go down to devastate. Get some shield slam. Again, this looks pretty crazy, I know, but like my thumb is moving around pretty fast. I'm hitting quite a few different damage abilities, but trust me, after a while you'll get so used to it that it will be pretty much second nature to you, like it is now. Because I can commentate like this and keep up a pretty steady rotation. I'm not dropping Rend off my target, I'm not dropping Thunderclap, I'm not dropping Sunder Armor, any of this, and I'm talking a commentary that's not well, I don't think it is, but it's not a node of random information that seemingly doesn't make sense. It's quite useful, I think. So as I said, a little bit of practice and you can do this as well. Another thing, as you can see here, I've got S1, 2 and 3, so Shift 1, 2, 3. Again, we can do the double tap. I failed it there a little bit, but that's basically what it is. You've just got to try and hit 2 and 3 together. I've only recently started trying to do this, so it's pretty difficult for me to actually hit it. As you can see at the moment, I'm hitting 4 and 6 pretty nicely together. Just making sure I keep up all the stacks of everything, dumping on Heroic Strike when I've got excess mana. And I get into the habit now of, even if I haven't got Thunderclap and Cleave on cooldown, then I hit them both anyway, just to practice that movement of hitting both at the same time. So I do find that quite helpful, because as I said earlier, it's literally just practice. That's all you need for doing this. I've started where all of you are now. If you're watching this, I've hardly ever used it, then you might find this helpful, hopefully. So let's just go over some points again. So now I'm going to break combat just so I can mount up again. We're going to have a little fly around Stormwind Wire chat. So like I said, your most used buttons on 1 to 6 I would recommend, because as you can see, they're easily reachable. They're the most obviously easiest reachable for me, I find, 1 to 6. And again, Shift 1 to 6 should be your next, well, not necessarily your next 6, but another 6 of your quite important spells. Again, it varies from what I do. Like my mage, I've got literally all my damaging spells on 1 to 6 that I use. Like in the frost rotation, I've got all of them there in 1 to 6. It's quite easy to use. I've got all my freezes. I'm pretty sure you saw that in the setup videos for Dominoes. So you'll see then my setup is pretty much based around the 1 to 6, and then the rest of them aren't as common. I'll go in there and show you right now. I'll switch characters. Oh, there we go, we're on the same server. So let's log into the mage, and hopefully you'll be able to see that most of my spells are on 1 to 6 that I will use, like most commonly used. When it loads, my computer's doing quite a lot, so it's a little bit slower than usual, but I won't make too many excuses for it. Come on. Yeah, you've loaded. There we go. Right. Okay, as you can see here, Frostbolt, Frost Firebolt, Ice Lance, Frost Nova, Counter Spell, Deep Freeze. They are literally your 6 most important spells in PvE, I find anyway, as a mage. So, and then below that you've got obviously cooldowns, sort of. That one and that one I use in certain situations. that again I use in certain situations. I don't use it all the time. And then these ones I very rarely use. Obviously blink probably could be a bit higher up, but yeah. And then over here, these ones are more, more cooldown based ones, I'd say, like invisibility, ice block, all these things, but they're still really reachable. I really need to change this round because I don't really use remove curse that much. I probably could switch that out for something. Probably blink. I probably could put blink up there, maybe something like that. And then maybe, I don't know, something different down here. I'm going to have a little switch around. We're going to put that there and then that up there, like that. I think that's a little bit better. So these are obviously AoE spells. These are typically, I use these to break rogues out of stealth. So you can just hit down here and you can hit, these to break rogues out of stealth. That's literally all I use those two spells for. So, and obviously with Arcane Torrent you get a little bit of mana back at the same time. So it's not too bad. I think blink now there is better. So obviously just shift 1. It's quite simple to hit. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Obviously all my characters are built kind of around the same way. I've started right from the scratch. Like as soon as I started leveling new characters, I've dumped spells and action bars in orders that I see fit. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say. I mean, I hope you found this video helpful. If you have, then that's good. Maybe leave a comment, leave a like, that would be quite good. And if you know anyone else struggling with their Razer Naga, then show them as well. Hopefully this video can help more than a few people, because I found that there wasn't really any videos when I started using my Naga. There wasn't any videos like this that gave little tips and little tricks to help you improve your coordination with it, or just general tips about it, like the double tap. I didn't even really think about that. It just kind of happened. I pressed 2 of the buttons at the same time and I realised that that actually kind of makes sense that it would do that. So yeah, that's obviously really helpful. So again, if you found it helpful, drop a like, maybe even a comment, that would be nice. If there's anything else you want to ask me about the Razer Naga or action bar setup in general, then drop a comment or send me a personal message on YouTube. I'll be glad to help. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye for now.